Hello everyone, my name is Marty Benson and I am the principal of Woolooware High School.
My name is Chris Futcher-Coles from Stay Safe Australia. We are the proud members of the local committee for the 2020 Walk for Respectful Relationships in Sutherland Shire.
Before we get started, we would like to introduce Auntie Diana so she can offer her welcome to country.
I'm Auntie Diana Schreiber, and I'm here today to welcome you to country and acknowledge the Gleagle people of the Dharawal language group and the Dharawal nation. I'd like to pay my respects to elders that have passed and those who are present here today. I'd also like to acknowledge my non-Indigenous brothers and sisters who have supported us and embraced our culture. Today, welcome to country.
2020 has been a year like no other, and we have had to change the plans for the traditional Sutherland Shire walk that has taken place in November for the last 5 years. We may be joining together virtually this year, but we have just as much passion and determination as ever to make sure that these important messages are not lost. Our event has a new name, but our commitment to standing up and speaking out for respectful relationships remains the same. We hope that you will join us to ensure that every step counts towards building respectful relationships within our community.
On behalf of the local organising committee, we would like to say a big thank you to the school principals, teachers, students, local businesses, volunteers and community members. You are adding your voice to raise awareness about the impact of domestic violence. Our involvement today shows our community that we are doing more to understand the problem and are actioning positive change in our shared future.
Once you have walked for respectful relationships today, don't forget to share your support for this day on social media.
We asked some of our community leaders for their thoughts on why it's important to continue to raise awareness about domestic and family violence and what we can do to reduce it in our lives and the lives of the people around us.
I support the prevention of domestic violence because Aboriginal people for many, many years have suffered domestic violence.
And domestic violence is one of the scourges that will tear a family apart, and it tears a community apart.
Domestic violence is degrading, it's painful, and it simply just should not exist. So anything that we can do to prevent it from happening in the future is absolutely crucial.
There's no excuses for it. Any man who hits a woman isn't a man and should be punished for it, and women should speak up.
I myself have had domestic violence through my families and my relations.
28 people were victims of domestic violence murders in New South Wales between July 2019 and June 2020. Let that number sink in. On top of that, there were thousands of domestic violence assaults. Even so, domestic violence remains vastly underreported.
Young people are often the hidden victims of domestic violence. It is also important for them to know that they will have the support of their peers.
As a female myself and a mother of a daughter, the statistics for me are just absolutely terrifying. And what I really want to focus on for her future and for every other child's future is to really support those relationships and build one another up and really look after one another.
Now let's take a look at a short video produced by one of our local schools.
Valuing and accepting everybody.
It's treating people fairly and equally and listening to their opinions. Treating others as mutual, simply.
Valuing other people's opinions.
When two people are communicating effectively and considering each other's thoughts and feelings.
Everyone's mutually equal, or treats everyone else equally.
$20,000, maybe $1 million.
Unfortunately, well over $1 million.
Whoa. Wait, out of 25 million?
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah, wow. Out of 25 million, yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot higher, yeah.
So what does the state mean to you?
absolutely important to seek help and services if you are a victim of domestic violence.
Because it's not okay and no one deserves it. It's also really important to be brave and have those difficult conversations. Whether you're the person that's being affected or someone close to you, we really need to stand up for one another and stop this from happening.
And the first action is always speak up. The second action is seek help.
We will only be successful in preventing domestic violence if we, as a community, work together to ensure that domestic violence is viewed as totally unacceptable.
Because if you don't speak up, it keeps happening. And you can't sit back because it keeps happening. So speak up so we can get rid of it.
And it's also really important to know that there is safe help out there. There are counsellors that are trained to listen to you, they'll believe you, and they'll also be able to help you.
Don't sit back and cop it, go and get help.
You have to take that step, you have to speak up. You have to be the hero that's not going to be praised, not going to win a medal, but you're going to be always remembered as a person that helps stop domestic violence.
Speak up, don't be silent, because silence is a killer.
Change in the form of walks like this one, of people standing up and speaking out.
I know that we can't walk this year, but simply by being together, by thinking about it right now, we start to galvanise the whole community to ensure that the fight against domestic violence is the #1 priority.
In Aboriginal communities, when we do something that's substantial and significant, we have a gathering, and that's what you're doing. You'll have a gathering and you're walking. Please keep walking.
The walk is important to this community against domestic violence to show support within the Sutherland Shire.
And it is important we continue to stand together and speak out against domestic and family violence, no matter what the circumstances are.
This walk is such a great initiative. It may look a little bit different this year, but we can still continue to have those conversations, learn about domestic violence and violence against women, and know how to treat it and also prevent it in the future.
I'm very proud to introduce my school captains for 2021 who are excited to have the opportunity to contribute their perspectives.
Hi everyone, my name is Jonah Newton.
And I'm Kira Daines, and we are the incoming school captains from Willoware High School.
As we meet here today under these unusual circumstances, I'd like to ask you 2 questions. What is respect to you and why is it important? You see, respect is different for everyone. For some it means respect in the classroom, and for some it means respecting your parents at home. However, respect shapes all relationships. Without it, domestic violence and abuse flourishes, and with respect as a weapon, it is crushed. It is days like this, despite not being together in Cronulla, we can still all unite remotely for a common cause. As we look around today, we find women, girls and teachers all surrounding us, and it only takes one incident to change someone's life. Respect starts in the place you wake up every day. For me, this is my home at Caringbah. It starts in the way I speak to my 2 sisters, and it starts in the way I speak to my mum. This initial respect then travels into my school, Willoware High, and the way I interact with my female friends, teachers and mates. Domestic violence and disrespect starts when we are young. The highest sexual assault rates are for 10, 14 and 15 and 19-year-olds. This is over 3 times the rate for the general female population and 15 times the rate for the general male population. It is not an issue that only impacts us when we are older. Now is the time to break the cycle and stop bad behaviour at its roots through the way we speak and interact with each other. Every single day, almost 10 women are hospitalised from injuries caused by spouses. 1 in 3 women have experienced sexual and/or physical violence perpetrated by a man from just the age of 15. 1.5 million women and 500,000 men have experienced physical violence since they were 15. It is statistics like these that make young women afraid to walk alone at night. It is statistics like these that are rising. It is statistics like these that we must change. I urge you not to forget what is said today and to respect each other, not just today, but every day. It starts with us. Thank you.
Domestic violence is a serious issue within our community, and this Walk for Respect for Relationships is a powerful method that encourages community engagement and generational change by empowering us as students with the will to influence the future. The first time I was a part of this walk was in Year 7, and I didn't truly understand the message behind it as I was oblivious to the issue at hand. I thought domestic violence was just a rare case scenario that would never really happen to me, but it's not. It's an urgent issue that is happening all around us, all the time. Since the coronavirus pandemic, the amount of cases have increased by 20% due to many people being trapped at home with their abuser. Because of this year's Walk for Respectful Relationships is so significantly important to acknowledge, to remind everyone of the threat that people still face within the comfort of their own homes, and to make sure everyone is able to speak out without fearing their own safety or the safety of the people they care about. I can't even begin to imagine what it's like to be scared to go home, to not feel safe within the walls that surround you every day. Home is meant to be a place of refuge where you can escape the daunting outside life of reality. Home is meant to be a place of relaxation and comfort, where the only conflict is bantering with your siblings because you don't want to do the dishes. Home is meant to be filled with love, happiness, and excitement, where safety comes above all else. And nobody should have to feel differently. Nobody should have to experience or witness domestic violence. However, the harsh reality is, many people do. But we are the ones that can change that by continuing this legacy of advocacy. It's up to us to make a difference, to stand up, speak out, and stop every aspect of domestic violence before it starts. We're the generation that can cause a change in society. We're the generation that can make a difference. Thank you.
We need, as a community, to make Sutherland Shire a better place by preventing domestic violence within the community. Domestic violence is a scourge. We need to stop it.
Speak up, go and seek help, talk to a friend, talk to a loved one.
Whether we're male or female, the conversation, it needs to continue, and we need to come together and stop these terrifying statistics from being true.
Thank you for demanding better, for demanding safety for everyone in our community.
Speak out and support victims of this serious crime.
We need to make the Shire domestic violence free completely, not just by words but by action.
Stand up, speak out, and every little step counts.
Thank you so much for taking the time to watch and participate in the 2020 Walk for Respectful Relationships.
If you received the message today that you can speak out against domestic and family violence, we know we've achieved our goal. Another important message is that there is help available if you or someone you know needs it.
And if you're a student in a school, please always remember you can talk to your teachers. Resources and contacts for local support services for victims and survivors of domestic and family violence can be found on our website.
We would like to acknowledge the organisations involved in the local committee that have made this event possible, and you can see their logos on the screen now.
In addition, we thank the organisations who provided financial support for the Walk for Respectful Relationships.
Our challenge to you is to take on board what you've heard today and think about how you can make a difference.
Together, we can reduce domestic and family violence in our community. Thank you. Let's stand up and speak out.
And remember, every step counts.